Anyone else wants a translation into Russian, just let me know. Okay, so last Sunday, what was it? Was it Christmas? No, it was something special. It was Easter, yes, it was Easter. And today we're going to be thinking about something that just happened after Easter. But first, I'm going to test you to see how well you believe me. Okay? So I've got some facts for you. So, do you think there's more trees in the world or more stars in the Milky Way?
Stars, there's no trees. So depending on what you do, the water, not the water.
No. I mean the galaxy, the Milky Way. You think stars? What about everybody else? Stars? Well, actually, there's 100 to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way, but there's 3 trillion trees on Earth. So, there are more trees than there are stars in the Milky Way. Okay, here's another one for you. Is an ostrich's eye bigger than its brain? That's true. I think that's a bit like me too. My eye is bigger than the brain. Okay, here's one now, a bit closer to home to test you. What do you think there's more of in the UK? Libraries or McDonald's?
McDonald's.
Libraries?
Yeah,
Libraries, you're very smart. 4,100 libraries and 1,400 McDonald's. And apparently the same is true in Northern Ireland, and it is right around the world as well. So there is more libraries than there are McDonald's. Okay, and here's just another couple. Does a tiger have striped skin or just striped fur? Striped fur? No, its skin is striped as well. And here's another one. So the youngest ever footballer to play in the World Cup was from Northern Ireland. Is that true or false? And for bonus point, can you name him? It was Norman Whiteside. He was 17 years old and he was from Northern Ireland. So you see, all these facts were things you'd never heard before. And did you believe me that the answers I gave you were right? So some of them were actually quite unbelievable. I would have been convinced that there would be far more stars than there would be trees. Yet you trusted me to tell you the truth, even though it sounded impossible. But what if you didn't believe and you doubted and thought, I'm not sure? Maybe Gordon was just making that up. How did you find out? Well, now you can maybe Google it, as maybe some of us have already done. Is he talking nonsense or is he talking the truth? Or you could actually go into a library and look at one of the, look it up in a book. Or you could ask somebody who you think would know. And have you ever watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Yeah. And if you don't know the answer, then you have lifelines and you can phone a friend or you can ask the audience. You can also ask the host, but I've never ever seen the host get a sensible answer, so it's a bit pointless when you ask the host sometimes. But you can ask somebody who you think might know, and then they kind of go with the majority, because if you ask the audience, and I ask the audience here, who thinks there's more trees than stars, or whatever, I might get nearly everybody saying, oh, I think there's more stars. A few people saying, I might go with the majority, but maybe you're not right. Yeah. I was up last night counting the books, but it was a clear night. So you can ask people, but how do you know that they're giving you the right answers? So sometimes you have to ask, you'll ask people, and you have to trust them that they're telling you the truth. Our video today is about one of the disciples called Thomas, and he was a disciple, and his nickname was Doubting Thomas. And this was because he found it hard to believe that Jesus had actually risen and come back to life. Now, Thomas had seen Jesus die, and he saw Jesus doing all the miracles, and he saw amazing things. And the other disciples were all telling Thomas, look, we met Jesus, and Jesus is alive. But Thomas found it really hard to believe. And he said, look, I can't believe in this, I see this for myself. He said, but remember, you'd actually see all these other things about Jesus. So you need some faith to believe that Jesus was alive. And sometimes we can't do things like Robert was asking, how did I know? I wasn't able to go and count all the stars, and I wasn't able to go and count all the trees. There's a few less because someone came down last night. But so some things you need to hear, and you need to have faith to believe that what you're being told is true. So let's have a look at what happened to Thomas in our video here.
Throughout the Bible, Jesus appears to Thomas. This is Jesus, who is the Son of God and the Savior of the world. While Jesus was on earth, he taught everyone about God's love and healed people from their sickness. He did many miracles like calming storms and even raised people from the dead. But some people did not like what Jesus was doing, and they put him to death. He died on a cross and was buried in a tomb. For 3 days, Jesus' body laid in that tomb, and it seemed that there was no hope. But very early on Sunday morning, the woman who cared for Jesus went to go visit his body, found that his tomb was empty, and that he was no longer there. For he was risen. He was alive. Jesus appeared to his disciples to show them that he was alive. One of the 12 disciples, Thomas, was not with the others when Jesus came. Later, the disciples told Thomas, "He has seen the Lord." But Thomas said, "I won't believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands, put my fingers into them, and place my hand into the wound in his side." 8 days later, the disciples were together again, and this time Thomas was with them. The doors were locked, but suddenly, as before, Jesus was standing among them. "Oh, here, peace be with you," he said. Then Jesus said to Thomas, "Put your finger here, and look at my hands. Put your hand into the wound in my side. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe." Thomas said, "My Lord and my God." Then Jesus told him, "You believe because you have seen me. Blessed are those who believe without seeing me."
If there were one button that just did that, it would be great. But, okay, so Thomas doubted, and he found it hard to believe something that sounded impossible, even though all his friends were telling him was true. But here's a question. This is a deep question now for some of us. Was that a sin? Is questioning God wrong? That's not always. Because if you want to find out the truth, you see, Thomas didn't give up. He didn't say, I don't believe that. I'm out of here. I'm way back to doing what I was doing before. No, the following week he came back into the right place with his friends and the other disciples, and Jesus came. And you would think, now was Jesus cross with him? Did Jesus say, "Thomas, we didn't believe, all these other ones believed"? No. Jesus said, Jesus wasn't cross with him. He gave him the opportunity to do what he needed to do. He said, "Look, Thomas, you said you couldn't believe unless you put your hands into these nail prints here. Look, put your hand in. Put your hand in. And what about the wound in my side? Look, touch that and see that. Because you need to believe." But then Jesus helped him to do whatever he needed to do to help him believe. But Jesus did say, "Look, blessed are those who believe, even though they haven't seen." And that's like us. We can't physically see Jesus here. He's not down the back in the tea ready. He's not sitting there beside Suzanne. We can't physically see him, and we can't put in our hands on his side. So we need faith. And Jesus said we're blessed if we believe when we haven't seen Jesus. But the Bible also tells us about somebody praying, Lord, I believe a little bit, I believe some of the way, but help my unbelief. So, if we have a hard job believing and thinking, how do I believe in Jesus if I can't see Him? We can pray and ask God, and He will help us just like He helped Thomas. There's another verse that says, when we search with our whole heart, it says we will find Him. So today, we need to be honest before God. So if we have a problem, thinking, I can't see Jesus, how am I going to, how can I really, really, really know that He exists and He loves me? Then we can ask Him to help us and be real to us, just like Thomas. Because remember, Thomas said, I can't believe. I really need help to believe You, Lord. And Jesus met him, and Jesus helped him to believe. But He also said that we are blessed when we believe, when we experience Him, but we can't see Him. So let's okay, so there's actions to this song. I don't know, does Amelia know the actions to this song? See, so I don't know. I can't do the actions and play the guitar, and I'm going to play the guitar, so. So, if you don't know the actions, make them up or follow these guys.
Amen.